how's it going, everybody? So I think I've found when I'm looking online is when people are reviewing products, whether that be games or movies or friggin' anything really, they never tend to give just a direct opinion. Like, I've found that with a lot of reviews, some people just tend to end up, the entire sort of attitude they give to whatever product they're talking about gives it off just a... That's pretty much it. It's like, well, do I get it? Do I watch it? Yada, yada, yada. So welcome. I'm going to be doing a lazy review today and then giving you guys a straight up opinion at the end of the video. Should you buy it? Yes or no? Hopefully this series will keep going on. If I enjoy making these videos and if you guys enjoy watching them, if you guys appreciate them, then maybe we can do these for more games that come out as the years go on, for more DLCs that come out, pretty much anything you guys want me to talk about. Let me know in the comments below and I will give you guys a yes or no. So the whole point of these is to review games, reviews DLCs, and so on and so forth, and then just give a direct yes or no. Should you buy it? This is probably going to be really challenging, but here we go. Today, we're talking about Steep. So this is the snowboarding and ski game. Came out a little while ago, probably a couple of weeks at the moment. And I'm having a freaking lot of fun on this game. I have to say, overall, I'm really enjoying it. However, it's not for everybody, but this is where I want to sort of draw the line. This is sort of where people, when they're reviewing products like Steep and games and things, they sort of say, it is good, but it's not for everybody, and then just leave it there. No, no, no. I want to take that out, and I want to give you guys, should you buy it, yes or no. But first of all, let's just go back through the product. What are you actually going to be doing in the majority of the game? I actually found the repetitive nature of this game not repetitive. Now, give me a second to try and explain that. So, you are going to be doing missions, or not missions, that's probably a bad word for it, but you're going to be doing challenges over and over again. And this is not over and over again because you have to progress. It's more so over and over and over again because I could do it. I'm so close. That seems to be my attitude throughout this whole game. If you are not a big fan of extreme sports games, though, like if you haven't been enjoying games like Skate 3 and stuff like that in the past, then it's probably not going to be the game for you. I think the hardest challenge this game faces is whether or not it wants to be ultra realistic or, you know, just plain extreme sports. There are a few situations where it'll take on some really realistic stuff, but then it'll take on some really weird stuff that just doesn't really make sense. You can probably see so far, I've done some pretty, you know, simplistic tricks on a snowboard and on skis and stuff like that. I've also done a couple of wingsuit things. If you haven't seen them yet, you'll see them later on in the video for sure. I have a pretty simple wingsuit fly, and then later towards the end of the video, you will find me sweeping through really tiny cracks in rocks, trying to find direct holes and things like that. This challenge is just so hard that I just can't do it. This one got that hard, I just gave up. I could not do it at all. And so I end up just taking my own little path off to the right, and it's just some of these holes, especially when you're running a wingsuit, are just ludicrous, but some of them are very realistic, and the same comes for snowboarding and skiing and so on and so forth. I'm already blabbering. I need to get back on topic. Let's try and look down some actual categories. Doing tricks is probably the biggest thing you're looking forward to if you're going to buy this game, and that is more when it comes to when you're probably trying to ask me about when it comes to realistic or not. What are these tricks like? Cool. That's pretty much it. It's basically a case, I think most of the time you're going to be finding yourself snowboarding and skiing, and that is not something completely by choice. You can wingsuit from anywhere, however, the amount of places there are to wingsuit and paraglide, in comparison to the amount of places there are to snowboard and ski, is obviously, you know, not 50-50. You really are sort of forced into snowboarding and skiing a lot. That's if you want to experience every part of the mountain, because a lot of it is really just going to be reached by snowboarding and skiing. Wingsuit is probably the next thing. However, I think I really enjoy wingsuit. It is very simple, but at the same time, because you're not doing it constantly, I think it sort of keeps it fresh. Every time I'm going back into it, I really enjoy it. I love trying to go through these cracks in the rocks. I love trying to find my way through areas, coming up with my own challenges and things like that. I actually found really cool. I was skiing down a mountain just the other day. You won't see this in this video, but this is one moment I think where it sort of sums up what they were trying to do with Steep perfectly. I was skiing down a mountain and I came through these sort of a gap in a rock just on my skis. I was doing some tricks and flew through them and thought that'd be a really cool spot to try and wingsuit through. So I went back on my trail. If you go to Mountain View, your trail is all viewable. I clicked on a spot, found a sort of like a little height or a little drop off to wingsuit off, went flying through this gap in these rocks. It took me a good few attempts. Now this was not a challenge. This is just me sort of exploring the mountainside. It took me me a good few attempts, but I finally made it, and then as soon as I did, I could put that up as a challenge, not just for my friends, but for other people online. And literally within 30 seconds to a minute, someone I didn't know was there literally trying my challenge over and over again. He was giving it a good crack, and I was actually watching him, and it's so cool. Having stuff like that is so fun. When you're doing your tricks on your snowboard, when you're doing your tricks on your skis and stuff, if you're going over a massive jump, you can do some pretty ridiculous flips. How it's going to work is you can grab with the left hand and right hand using the left and right trigger, and then use the right stick to sort of change those grabs into doing different things. Whether you just want to do a regular indie, or whether you want to do a Japan, or, you know, all the grabs and things on skis look absolutely amazing. They look really cool, but you're sort of just going to change them around with the right stick. This does not work very well, but I think it's something that I can see being a lot better in future updates. Once Ubisoft sort of sees that the community's going, hey, the right stick doesn't work very well, it seems like something they could probably easily fix. So hopefully when the game's been out for a little while, if that's something you're worried about, the grabs being really good, which, I don't know, that's probably not the first thing on your list. You do want to be really good at tricks and stuff, but generally it's the flips and things. They can be really cool. There is a half pipe in the game, so check, bang, as long as there's a half pipe, I'm happy. On the half pipe and stuff, and on some more, you know, actually set out ramps that they have in like small skate parks and things in this game, flips and tricks and things are very realistic. However, of course, you can come to cliff faces and land some stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous. Like you might have seen at the very start of this video, some of those jumps are just ludicrous. And at times, you sort of get these ludicrous jumps where you kind of go, hey, people actually do that. This is real life. People make those jumps, people make those tricks. But then you've also got things like that wingsuit thing that you're probably looking at shortly that's like, yeah, no, that that does not happen. You are not doing that. So that's what I mean when it sort of has this sort of, it just doesn't know where it wants to be. Does it want to be super realistic? Does it want to be just a flip crazy madness? And I think it more so takes a side. I reckon about 70 to 80% of the game is the realistic, but every now and then you just get these moments that are just absolutely ludicrous that sort of bring you out of a little bit at times. But even then, that's not something I would complain about, and that's not even really something I would be adding to the no factor of this video. The other thing I haven't talked about though is paragliding. Let me tell you this, I've done paragliding next to none. I hardly ever do it. There are challenges for paragliding. You can do a couple of flips and things on your paraglide. I don't even know if you can do that in real life. If you can, you're a freaking nut job, man, because that's just ludicrous. But I think the one thing I actually use it for is if I get stuck on a slope and I go, hey, that part of that mountain up there looks pretty cool, but I just can't get to it at all. One thing you can do is switch to your paraglide. If you stay close to the mountain, you'll find an updraft and you can take yourself up there. And so it just adds that little bit of exploring factor, which is really cool. So I found it handy for exploring, but the missions and the sort of, you know, the races and the checkpoints and stuff like that, they get pretty dull with paragliding. I wasn't a big fan. Now, this game is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me in the sense as well that I've got a big history when it comes to extreme sports games. I think one of the first video games that I ever got properly into was Tony Hawk Underground. And so like skateboarding and then Amped, if any of you guys play Amped, and then Skate and Skate 2 and 3, and I played all of these games, man, I absolutely loved them. And I tried to play them realistically. So when I heard that they were going to be bringing out a realistic sports, you know, extreme sports game, skiing, snowing, wingsuit riding, I flipped it. I thought that was going to be absolutely amazing. The replay value in this game is cool if you like extreme sports, but of course it's extreme sports, and so, you know, I can Google real life people doing it, and it's, you know, probably even more amazing because it's not in a video game, if you know what I mean. It is really cool. The replay editor is pretty cool. I'm going to be doing a me and E episode on this game pretty shortly, so if you guys want to hang around for that, you'll actually see me mucking around with the replay editor and stuff a bit better, and that way you can get an idea of what sort of things you can do in this game when it comes to that replay editor, because that was something that they advertised quite a bit. And the other thing that I was going to talk about was the customization in this game, which is freaking awesome. I absolutely love the customization. Now, you have got a few characters to mess with. If you look at the customization screen, down in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a few white circles. Each of those is different characters. You could build up some pretty badass sort of realistic snow, you know, outfits and things like that. A ton of different snowboards, ton of different, you know, skis. A few more wingsuits would be pretty cool, but even then, there's a half-decent amount. And then you've got hats, gloves, jackets, pets, shoes, just anything you can think of. And then you've got things like stickers for your bag, things you can hang off your bag. Some of them I'm a bit shame you can't use. Things like you can take a shovel that's supposed to be used to start avalanches for you to beat down the mountain. You can attach that to your bag. It's an avalanche shovel, literally. But you can't use it. I was like, well, that would have been friggin' awesome. Even if it was just like one mission and you had to have that shovel with you for it to work. I don't know, something along those lines. I suppose starting an avalanche wherever you want on an online multiplayer is probably a bit of a pain in the ass for other people, but still, it's so close. It would have been really cool. You could probably tell at the moment what my view is on this game. Now, what are the problems that people are having with it? I think people are they're just, you know, it's just that. That's all it is. It's extreme sports. It doesn't really go beyond that. The biggest part you're going to have is just exploring the mountainside, trying to come up with your own missions, and replaying all the cool tricks you've done. That's really all it is. It's incredibly relaxing, and I can play it for hours on end and not get too bored. And even then, when I'm not playing it, I'm happy to have it there on my shelf so that when I come around to that day where I really feel like going for a snowboard or just looking at the beautiful sights over the mountainside, I've got it there. I don't have as many arguments with this game as a lot of people tend to at the moment. People have been pretty disappointed with it, but I think that might be a case of overhyping video games. When it comes to video games at the moment, I do not get incredibly excited for any of them, and that is not because I'm not excited, but it's more so because they're just gonna let you down. They always let you down. The last one I got properly excited for was Destiny, and I got way out of control excited for that, and how did that go? Yeah, not good. So that's me. Basically, coming down to the end of the video, should you buy Steep? Yes. Yes, I say you should. That is in my opinion though. What do you guys think? And is there anything else you'd like to hear my opinion on? I will be going back through, I think, some of the Star Wars Battlefront DLC that I missed out because of my horrible capture gear, so I'd love to go back through and do the Death Star DLC. I can even do video games that we've played already now. Like, I can do Destiny for you guys if you want. I can do Doom if you want. I can do Battlefront, Skyrim, all these games and things. If there's stuff that's already come out that you'd like to hear my opinion, yes or no on, let me know in the comments below. You guys get the picture, and I'll catch you later. TK out. Have a good one.